affects your trust in people. It affects your trust in people. You if anybody is kind, you are wondering why they are kind. Because life has not been kind to you. Do a social experiment. Put 500,000 inside an envelope and take it to different places and say, take 500,000, I give you. You would have to know the person. The natural, the almost response you get from Nigerians is, no, I don't want blood money. And the person can even start 3 days dry. Why? Trust. Trust issues. Trust issues in the opposite sex. So when some men say that, don't trust women, don't even they are saying that about the woman they marry. What has affected that trust? The background. The background. Nollywood formed a major part of the background. They were busy watching how women were poisoning their husband, and it was becoming an ideology. They were telling themselves, before I will eat any food by my wife, I will say, taste it. How do you perceive a woman? How do you perceive a man? Do you feel with this mentality you can trust your spouse? Are you ready to commit? 100% trust. 100% trust. What has affected your trust life? Dysfunctional settings can. It destroys it. It eats people up like cancer. And when there's no trust, you don't just have distrust, you have insecurity. So let me try and give you a vivid explanation. Let me use simple things you can understand. If a snake is passing and somebody mistakenly match the snake by the tail, how will the snake respond? Strike the person with the poisonous, the venom. And if the person is not treated, the person will what? Die. Where did you match the snake? The tail. Why did the snake kill the person? Because the snake is not sure what is coming next. Insecurity is what you have when you respond to small things with heavy issues. Because I don't know what you can do next. When you begin to kill an ant with sledgehammer, is insecurity. Maybe mistakenly, he was trying to talk to you, and he raised the voice. You don't raise your voice at me in this house. Because you didn't hear him. You heard those people that used to raise their voice at you. Lack of trust will make you see those who have hurt you in your spouse. And you begin to respond to your spouse like you are responding to them. You will fight your spouse with the venom and the anger with which you wanted to respond to them. Many couples don't have issues one-on-one. The problem is that they are seeing those that have hurt them in each other. And the response is according to that. So sometimes you hear matter. Okay, what happened? This. How did this person respond? This. See, don't just jump and say you are a bad woman. You are a fool. No. That's why sometimes we don't deal with issues. What do you do? You need to now investigate. Tell me about your background. You listen. Then we now need to help this person get the orientation that background is gone. This person is a different person. See, there is no guarantee that your spouse will not behave like those who have hurt you in the past. There's no guarantee. But this person does not know them and is not trying to become them. It might need to be helped also. Do you get what I'm saying? But by the time you begin to respond with that fear, you will create that situation exactly here. Trust. Number 3, effect of upbringing functional background, trust in God's love. The person finds it difficult to trust God's love. Now, this is a very serious matter. Many people don't believe that God forgives. Let me say this to you. Look up. I want to say something that is very, very strong. And I don't mind being dragged for it, but I will tell you. Many pastors are not leading. They have emotional trauma. Listen to what I'm saying. Faulty background does not just affect your family. It even affects even the church you pastor. It does. The reason why you see a pastor has preached a message, you can call this person and say, there's a correction here. But you prefer to go online and shout. You can call yourself, what are the names we call ourselves? Custodian of this and that. It's because of the way you are raised. You were not raised where there is love. When that defect is there, you will perceive a calling around the defect. Anybody can drag me for this, but I'm telling you what I know. Check people who grew up in the midst of love. They know the gravity of dragging people. Sometimes it is the background, the environment, it is a hardship. We inflict pain to cause change because we are in pains. Do you understand what I'm saying here? That is what is happening. In fact, as a pastor, some members who have betrayed and hurt you, if you don't heal, you will see other innocent members in their shoe. And the church will become flow of hurt, of disloyalty, of pain, and all those things. It happens. It happens. See, let me say this to you. All these things we are saying happens in church. We complain, Nigeria, let the youth come to power. They should allow the youth. There are churches that they have killed and silenced their youth. The church will survive if they will give the young people a voice. The man who is the youth leader is 75. You are wondering, youth president is in the 60s. He cannot connect with the reality of the youth. So don't just blame Nigeria. Let's check inside our churches. In fact, the politics in Nigeria is learning compared to the politics in some churches. In fact, Nigeria still have better hope of emerging to have a young leader compared to some youth. Imagine in some churches. Go and check. People complain all these new churches. Why are they calling our members? Because there is a disconnect. Let me just leave that. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Have I stepped too far? If somebody should do something and I don't like it, it takes a lot of deadness in my soul to go on Facebook and begin to drag my friend that I can call and say, oh boy, that thing where you preach. And I still call one of my friends on Friday. I said, Baba, watch my back. If you ever see me preach anything that is against sound doctrine, call me. I will pull it down and apologize to the church. Let me tell you, all this, the reason why you stay under a pastor, everywhere is bitterness, anger. It is not, it is the home he came from. We are not agreeing that these things dovetail into ministry. It does. If a pastor was not brought up where there's love and he has not gone to learn the love of Christ, he's still going, he will be hurting people. He will be talking over people and cursing them, and they are seated. He's not feeling it because the heart is severed. It is still the effect of a faulty background. It is not just in families, it is in churches too. People can't dance, they are not happy. Anybody who lives are threatened with a curse, he will curse them. Check his family, it's the same thing. So don't just think it's about homes. It's about everything. It affects everything. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Oh yes, I just have to tell you that. When you actually look at a man of God, what you should perceive is the love of Christ.